Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really diving into a piece of writing that, well, it really focuses on a core human thing.
Yeah.
Why do some people just keep going when, everyone else around them is stopping?
Hmm.
And our mission really for this deep dive is to pull out the most powerful insights from this text, not just what it says, but how this kind of unwavering perseverance really sets people apart and honestly changes what's possible for them.
Right. It's about unlocking potential.
Exactly. So you should get some really useful sort of nuggets of wisdom here for, well, any tough path you might be facing.
Yeah.
One of the first things that jumped out, for me anyway, was this story. It starts with Ernest Shackleton, the Arctic explorer.
Oh, yeah. The Endurance. Incredible story.
Right. His ship gets crushed by ice, totally lost, but he doesn't just, survive. He leads everyone to safety against, truly impossible odds, often pushing forward when things look completely hopeless.
It's almost unbelievable.
It is. And the source asks, okay, what's the difference between someone like Shackleton and someone who just stops? It argues that those moments,
Yeah.
when it feels impossible, when you really want to quit.
Mm-hmm. The breaking point.
Yeah, exactly. That's precisely where strength isn't just, shown. It's actually built, forged, really.
And what's interesting is how the source talks about giving up. It's not presented as some kind of moral weakness.
No.
It calls it inertia bias. Basically, our brains, they're wired for comfort, for the easy route. So stopping often feels, well, natural.
The path of least resistance.
Totally. So the choice to keep moving, that's a very deliberate thing. It's actively overriding that bias, which kind of suggests resilience isn't just about toughness. It's about actively retraining your brain's response to difficulty, which, begs the question, how do you do that? How do you flip that switch?
Okay, right. And that's where the source gets really practical. It goes beyond just, remember why you started. It actually breaks down the why into different kinds of layers.
Yeah. Layers, okay.
Yeah. So there's the immediate why, just finish this thing right now. Then there's the bigger picture, the dream, the aspirational why.
Got it.
But the most powerful one, it suggests, is the impactful why.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is counting on you? Who benefits if you keep going? Your team, maybe your family.
Or even just the future version of yourself.
Exactly, that future you. Tapping into that, especially the impact on others or that future self, apparently creates a much stronger anchor when things get really rough.
That makes sense because the source points out, all the external stuff, the noise, the doubters, even just the sheer comfort of stopping.
Yeah, they're loud.
They are. But it says they pale in comparison to the quiet internal power of determined choice. And that internal power, it's not just there. You have to cultivate it through what it calls micro victories. These aren't huge successes. It's that one extra step when you're exhausted, that one more email when you want to call it a day.
Ah, okay. The small wins.
Exactly. Collecting those small wins actually trains your brain to find value in the effort itself, not just waiting for the big payoff. It's about building that inner fire even when you can't see any progress, trusting that every little push is adding up.
I really like that, the micro victories idea. It feels more achievable.
Yeah.
It's not about some heroic leap. It's about that tiny decision right now to push through a little bit of discomfort.
Moment by moment.
Yeah. And the source does say, look, this path is often lonely. It takes real guts to fight that urge to just give up. But the payoff is huge, not just, reaching the goal.
Right. It's more than that.
It's the internal change.
Yeah.
The satisfaction of knowing you pushed past what you thought your limits were, becoming someone who, doesn't quit.
Yeah, it's the journey itself transforms you. The struggle isn't just something to get through. It's where the real growth happens. The source really challenges us. Stand up when everything says sit down. Remember that layered why when you're just bone tired? It's about believing in the process. Relentless belief, even when you don't see results immediately. That's where self-mastery starts, isn't it? Where you become someone different because of the adversity. Like Shackleton, he wasn't that leader despite the ice.
He became that leader because of it.
Exactly.
So we've taken a deep dive into this whole idea of unwavering determination, especially when stopping seems like the obvious, easiest choice. The message is pretty clear, isn't it? That view from the top. It really is for the ones who kept climbing when others stopped.
Which leaves the thought for you listening right now.
Mhm.
Maybe take a moment later to think about your own personal why. Not just the goal on the surface, but that deeper, impactful reason you started whatever it is you're pushing through.
Yeah.
Because holding on to that purpose, that initial spark, that's often the real fuel. It's what keeps you moving, even when progress feels totally invisible, or that temptation to just stop feels overwhelming.
Keep moving. Keep that why in mind. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Take this insight with you and let your persistence speak for itself.